This is Frog Valley Farm, and I wanted to do a winter video on mango fruit set, March 2021. It was a very trying year, and we had a 31-degree freeze, then we had 10 inches of rain in like 2 days, and then we had more drought and wind. But as you can see on this Sugar Loaf Mango from Zill's High Performance Plants, we have fruit set. We always have fruit set, it seems. There's a couple that don't, of course, and some sides that do, but overall we have fruit set. And all this little stuff you see, like there, that was from the 31 degrees. And see these little mangoes? They have little like dots on them that people freak out about, but they outgrow those. Of course, this is probably going to drop some of these, most of them, and keep one, I hope, because this is a very tiny tree, and I want it to give me fruit in the first year, but I also want it to grow, and it can do both. So a couple of fruit on this tree the first year, not a problem. I don't do anything. I don't trim. I like to trim the brown stuff away from the mangoes once I see they're gonna get settled. So I will clip that away, like, oops, this, clip that off. But this little mango is like every bloom is covered, and we're the only organic certified mango grower currently in Florida, which is sad, and I want to change that. Mangoes are so easy. They started being grown 5,000 years ago by India, and they use manure and compost. You can look up heritage.india on mango growing, and their advice is to apply compost or cow dung, which is exactly what I do. For some reason, the conventional growers tell you that you don't want to do that, but that's exactly what you want to do to be organic. And you don't want to have to spray. We don't have to spray. We don't spray anything with copper. Copper is not organic. If they tell you, like Truly Tropical, that they are organic growing methods and they spray copper, they are not organic. Copper is a pesticide. Copper will damage your biological systems. This is a biological system. We're one of only 2 biodynamic farms certified in the world for mangoes. The other being on Molokai in Hawaii. And biological farming, as you can see, works in Florida, no matter what they try to tell you. Look at this cover. I'm so passionate about teaching people about this because it's so easy and you get results, and you don't have to worry about a powdery mildew on your mangoes. It all comes down to soil health. Soil health is the answer. So growing this out, staying off of it is really important. It's sand. You got to keep it covered. You want all these plants in the ground because this is where this is your fiber optic cable for nutrients. Most plant nutrients come from biological activity. So if you don't want to be applying gypsum, which makes zero sense since gypsum is mined not too far from here, and it causes radioactive pollution. It's one of the worst pollutants there is. Why are you applying gypsum in Florida? Hello? We have plenty of calcium. Anyway, the biological system works, and I'm going to prove it and help people grow. That's my goal. That is my goal. So anyway, this is a pineapple pleasure mango that's been in the ground for a year. And people would freak out by this. They would think that they would have to spray that with copper. That is not true. I will show you in a month or two that that's not true. They outgrow this. That's from cold, because it's cold and wet here. And at night, it's not like down in Miami. It gets in the 50s at night. And so these little trees will have multiple blooms on them. We've had up to 4 blooms. I imagine it's going to go higher than that. So this is a coconut cream mango that's covered. And everything's the same. Everything gets covered in fruit here without spraying anything. So if they tell you have to spray, it's because they want to sell you something. They want you to buy their special chemical mix, or some tell you where to go. We don't do this for money. I do this for my love of delicious fruit. And it's our goal to grow the best tasting mango anyone's ever eaten here at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. So we have 300 mango trees. I've been growing mangoes continuously, organically for 10 years. 10 years straight. And I got it down. We don't water these mangoes. It's soil health. I don't understand why people don't understand. Everything is about soil health. Everything. Your mango will get a disease because of a nutrient deficiency. The nutrients are provided by the biology. That's the only way you can fix what is wrong with your tree permanently. We don't have to like go back and spray, and I don't want to. I'm lazy. And those food crops, this is all from the freeze. So it had bloom and it froze, but it this tree has been in the ground for 3 years. Last year we got about 10 mangoes off of it. They produce more fruit if you apply compost, quality compost. I'm not talking wood chips. You don't see any wood chips on the ground here. We don't do mulch. We do a living mulch. That is where your biology, the processes, all your nutrients to be provided for your tree's health live in the plant roots. A mix of them. Native plant roots especially. Boy, I'm looking at this mango over here. I never really... Look, there's some big ones on here. This tree bloomed 3 times last year. We got only 2 crops off of it, little crops. But I haven't seen a second bloom start yet, but I'm sure we will. We're the only ones in Florida, in the continental USA, that grow biodynamic certified mangoes. The best tasting mangoes anyone will ever eat. Stuff like this will drop off. Yep. But, you know, we got plenty, even if we have some that drop. This is how our trees roll. Our trees roll with lots of fruit. I'm gonna eat so many mangoes this year. I'm finally going to fulfill my dream of eating unlimited supply of Zill's organically grown top tier mangoes. The only place in the world to get them is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. I wish other people would do it this way. It's like, I mean, look at this. It's so easy. Staying off of it. This is sand. Sand, you know, sand is the most easy to destroy. So if I mowed this, it would destroy it for a little while, unless I let it regrow. But especially if I mowed it with a lawnmower or a tractor over and over again. And look at the orchard floor. It's all clover. I didn't plant this stuff. You don't have to plant it. Once you have healthy soil, the healthy plants that enable your crops show up. This is a sweet tart that had the unlucky position of being in full bloom. Even this will probably mature, but it'll have a scar there. That's from the freeze. The freeze does that. That'll probably drop off, but this tree has been in the ground for 3 years, produced 60 fruit last year, and only grew once. It bloomed twice. I'll show you these mangoes again, what they look like when they're big. I'm not even worried about it holding them. I've seen it. I've been doing this for 10 years. It works. You don't need to buy the chemicals. You don't need to buy the spray tank. You just have to start taking care of your soil, and in turn, you'll take care of Florida and take care of your gut. Because eating biodynamic, the reason why I grow like this, because I wanted to produce the best fruit in the world. And I researched how the known methods to do that were, and it was with biodynamic farming. I grew up in Mendocino County, California, in the hills up there in the 60s. My mother's good friend was John Jevons and his mother. He was the founder of biointensive farming. So I kind of always had an organic background. And I have had horses my whole life. And I have always liked to grow plants. And manure and plants go together. We are successful at growing and fruiting multiple species of tropical fruits, and all being grown the same way with soil health. Look at the soil. This is where I walk all the time. That's the color of our soil. It just used to be white sand. Now where things have been digging, it's like humus. It's like sandy loam is what it is. It's gorgeous with excellent structure. So I'm gonna show you this other Sugar Loaf Mango. And it also, just like everyone else, this one was a little later to bloom, but just like all the other mangoes, I'm gonna be eating biodynamic Sugar Loaf Mangoes. I don't know if I'm gonna have an unlimited supply of those because all of our trees are only a year old. But looks like most of them, or not most, but plenty of them. We have 30 of these sugarloaf trees. I don't see any powdery mildew. I see cobwebs, but I see a fly, but I don't see powdery mildew. What do I do about my mangoes that have small flower on them? Leave them the hell alone. That's what you do. Leave everything alone. Leave it alone. Take care of your soil. This is a fruit punch mango. As you can see, it's pretty consistent. The results we get growing mangoes biodynamically in Florida with compost, biodynamic compost, and soil health and cow manure. You get results that people don't see because it's never been done before. And documented. That's why I'm certified, because I wanted everything documented. I want a legacy of what was done here from the start. So I would have proof and a record of what we have done and how we grow fruit. That's why we're certified. Anybody can try and say they're organic or biodynamic, but unless you're certified, you're really not allowed to use those words. We are certified, so that's why we do it. But yeah, this is, mangoes are just 300 trees. People think, oh, well, you don't have any fruit because we don't sell. Because, hello, we're a young farm. We planted 3-gallon trees or seeds. And this is only our 3rd year with mangoes. So here, we have them at our other place that I practice natural farming, doing nothing, growing grafted mango. And unless you apply compost, 10 years without flowering, and then, or 8 or 9 years without flowering, and then I applied compost and they flowered. So the lie about compost and mangoes needs to be put to rest. People that are not certified, that are mango legends, growing and polluting with their chemicals, have no place to give advice on organic farming of mangoes. If that's who you want to listen to, you're listening to the wrong person. Unless you know them personally and they show you what they do at their house. But this is what soil health does for mangoes in Florida. Organic mango growing in Florida. This mango will fall off. Fruit punch, She's gonna give us a lot of fruit. So this one is peach cobbler. Look at this orchard floor. It's like 60-40, 60 brown, 40 green. That's our goal. In the summer, it won't be like that because the green will be high, and so all this schluffage, this is all being processed and turned into nutrients for organic systems to work. This is peach cobbler. Like all the others, it's just, this is how our mangoes do it. We don't spray. I've said that 1,000 times, but you know, copper sprays, everyone thinks that they are organic because they're on the OMRI, but they have loosened their standards too much organic. That's why I'm organic or Real Organic Project certified and biodynamic, because anyway, they put the copper as on the OMRI as able to use, but there's restrictions. We do not use it because we're biodynamic. Copper is against. Using copper destroys, kills biology, kills the biology you need to have your mango trees do this in 1 year. And we don't water these mangoes. In all fairness, there are some trees like the Kui Muck over there that's on a drip, but there's not really any trees around here that are being watered. This one looks like it wants to produce a lot of fruit, this tree. And about manures, I believe that it's your grass-fed cow. We use Zebu because it's supposed to be the best. Is a lot better than like an organic horse manure. I can't prove that yet, but it's looking like that to me. So I'm gonna stick with compost and our own poop. Applied daily is perfect. Of course, in order for these to be organic certified, I can't put any manures near them. So I don't put any compost or manures as soon as I see a sign of flowering on our fruit trees. These are like 4 months, so that's like 120 days. So we have these mangoes, what, are gonna be ready in July. So this is a good one, Honey Kiss. They're all good. I have all top tier mangoes, good ones. Here at Frog Valley Farm, we have 30 Sweet Tart, because that's been my favorite. And 30 Sugar Loaf, about 20 Buttercream. There's some bigger mangoes back here. I'll like go by. Got lychees. The lychees are all, this one didn't have a huge bloom, but it's got some bloom on it. This particular one had no bloom. We have 34 lychees. Everything we grow is grown the same way, except the mangoes, we don't hook up to any water ever. You don't have to here. Definitely. So here's the Venus mango. And as you can see, hello, they all do it the same way. Loaded. Fully loaded, no spraying required. Fully loaded Venus mangoes. This tree has been in the ground for 3 years. Produced a lot of fruit last year. just soil health. That's what we focus on. You know, it's just, everything's the same. Every plant is the same except for mangoes and annonas and seed-grown trees. We don't water. Citrus, we don't water. All our citrus are seed-grown. So that one's probably gonna fall off. So not everything is perfect, but I want people to see what these, you know, this little mangoes, when they're small, and yes, they have blemishes on them. Don't worry about it. They will outgrow them or they will fall off, but they will generally outgrow them, and a couple will fall off. You can't have all these mangoes set. It would be too much for this little tree, but if I could get 60 mangoes off a 3-year-old tree without ever having to water or spray it, and more the following year, I'm happy with that. I'm just happy to be able to show what people that have given advice on growing mangoes tell us we cannot do. The video really doesn't lie, so I'm glad that I finally am getting a visual record also of all this. So we are the only organic. This is cold damage. This is not fungal damage. This is from the freeze. We don't really have issues on our mangoes, as you can see. So please stop polluting to grow fruit trees in Florida. I mean, they've already destroyed the citrus industry with that practice. I'm not really sure why they're doubling down on the mangoes to be grown that way. Doesn't make any sense to me, especially it's pretty obvious that there's a better way. People just don't know about it. So this is fruit punch. Take care of your soil, people. Take care of your soil. Don't pollute. And you can grow maintenance-free mangoes organically in Florida.